Hello, welcome to the studio. I'm taking a little break from my monoprint on tissue paper. So this week I actually started to make a large Drypoint plate. So this video is all about how I've made it and printing it as well. I've actually used an old piece of aluminium, so it's got inherent marks and scratches on it already, which I really like. So if you like the video, click like, subscribe to the channel. There's lots more to see, available artwork, self-paced video courses at ruthander.co.uk. So I'm using old plates here, so they've already got some carborundum on, they've got some Drypoint on, so I'm just scraping away the old carborundum, if only to help it to print better. And I started with a few of my very simple sketches and a Drypoint tool, a Drypoint needle to scratch into the metal. So it's just a very simple compositional sketch really that I'm going to work from. And I'm just going to do a horizon line with this Sharpie pen actually, just to get that straight line. I have made that mistake before where I'm not working to a straight line and it does look a little bit odd. So just going with the Sharpie pen. It's actually quite difficult to do a very precise straight line with a Drypoint tool unless you use a ruler, a metal ruler of some sort. So I'm just starting out with the Sharpie pen just to work to. And then I will actually draw the horizon line in with the tool later on. So it is quite hard work scratching into metal. This is actually really thick aluminium that I managed to salvage from a launderette actually. They are the sides of old launderette washing machines. So it's really thick, but it's nice stuff. It's got lots of marks already on it, as you can see, which I really like and just gives a real atmosphere to the piece. So the other thing I'm using a lot of in this work is sandpaper. So this is quite coarse sandpaper here. And I'm just basically having a go at doing sort of, rain coming down and clouds, and this will give kind of tonal, I suppose. It will be tone rather than line, so just getting a bit of background noise, I suppose, in there, as well as some more definitive, like rain coming down as well. So sandpaper is really flexible for this kind of thing. You can use it for all sorts of things. And this, I'm using slightly less coarse sandpaper here to just get some darker tone into one of these land masses here. So just a corner of that less coarse sandpaper. And then finally, I'm just using the tool again to be a bit more wild, a bit more loose, with just really scratching some big scratchy marks into the bottom there, which I really love to do, and they print beautifully as well. So just not really thinking about it, not planning, just making marks. And again here, just a few more thicker, scratchier marks for the rain on top of the sandpaper marks that I've already made. And so this is what it looks like when it's finished. And we're skipping straight here to me printing the piece. So I've already put ink on. I've put a kind of soft grey on, and I'm wiping off first with quite a dirty piece of scrim, and then I'm moving on to a slightly less dirty piece of scrim, and it works like that until finally you start actually revealing the picture, a bit like a photograph in Developer. The picture, the print actually starts to reveal itself. So I'm taking quite a lot of the ink off the bottom here, the C part, leaving quite a lot of ink on the top. But I am using the scrim to actually almost make a monoprint. So leaving quite a lot of the ink on, but then just taking bits off, making it quite gestural and a bit like a monoprint. And finally, taking some ink off with a cotton bud, or you could use a rag. And that just takes a bit more ink off in a really nice way. It's another variable, another form of mark making. And this is what it looks like as it goes into the press. So I'm putting Japanese paper on here. You can't dampen Japanese paper or it starts to rip if you do. So I'm laying on dry Japanese paper, just laying it out. And then on top of that I will put damp paper. So this is a sort of cheap, I think it's bread and butter paper. It's quite cheap. I've dampened it, and then that goes on top, and you can see it's already, as soon as I've put it on, it's already started to damp the Japanese paper. And that is the best way to get an even damp Japanese paper, rather than actually soaking it in lots of water. It did take me a little while to actually get this set in the right place, but eventually I did. And just smoothing it out there. And then on top of that, I will put tissue paper as well to save the blankets on the press. And I'm using a really large Tofco press here, which is at Spike Print Studio, my open studios in Bristol. It's really big. I don't often use it, but it was actually really good to use. And then I'm taking off the damp paper, and I'm going to peel away the Japanese paper from the plate. And you can see that the dampness has gone through, and it's really picked up all of the marks, or quite a lot of the marks anyway. And it's quite hard to handle when it's like that as well, so have to be really careful with it. And this is the end piece. I will probably work some more on this, probably work some more on the plate and do some more prints from it as well.